And sometimes you don't even have time to go to the store and get the expensive beer.
Samantha Bee.
Alright, so I'm doing the Sam B challenge. Carl said it, Dave did it, and I still have a small game bird carcass of bones to pick with the Daily Show, so I'm going to try it. The challenge is to sit through an entire sketch or video by Samantha Bee and see if you can refrain from ripping off your own head and spitting down your own neck in self-retribution for putting yourself through this. And the thing is, I have sat through a whole Sam B bit many times because I used to watch The Daily Show. I've talked about it a couple of times before, but for those of you who don't know about The Daily Show, here's the Wikipedia article. The Daily Show is an American news, satire, and late-night talk show television program with a progressive bent. It airs each Monday through Thursday on Comedy Central, describing itself as a fake news program.
Our show obviously is at a disadvantage compared to the many other news sources that we are competing with. For one thing, we are fake.
Well, shit. What's fake news, Wikipedia? Fake news is a type of yellow journalism that consists of deliberate misinformation or hoaxes spread via the traditional print, broadcasting news media or via internet-based social media. Fake news is written and published with the intent to mislead in order to gain financially or politically, often with sensationalist, exaggerated or patently false headlines that grab attention. Nice one, Wikipedia. And don't just take it from them. Here's what CNN have to say about The Daily Show and its erstwhile host, Mr. Jon Stewart. To gauge Jon Stewart's impact on American politics, try to imagine a presidential election without him. The last time that happened was in 1996, when Bill Clinton faced off against Bob Dole. This article is from 2 years ago, by the way, if you were wondering just how short their attention span is. The Daily Show hosts hordes of millennial fans and political junkies. We'll soon find out what a sans Stewart election is like as they pick their way through the spin, obfuscations and outrages of the 2016 race without him. Stewart, sometimes known as the most trusted name in fake news, made the surprising announcement on Tuesday that he would quit the Comedy Central hit before the end of the year after 16 years behind his desk. So you can see, among other things, what they're implying there, more than implying really, that we might never have managed to get a Democrat elected if it wasn't for Jon Stewart and his stalwart devotion to fake news.
What do you have to say about CNN? John Oliver.
They are ghosts, John.
See the story highlights. Stewart hanging up Mohrahk for 16 years. He carved out unique role at intersection of real and fake news. There it is, John. Your epitaph. Your life's work described in one sentence. You proud of yourself? Read it one more time, John. He carved out unique role at intersection of real and fake news. Unpack that sentence. What is it? What was it saying? It's like one of those euphemistic obituaries written in the newspaper as a sort of obligation for some unpopular old curmudgeon who recently died. He didn't suffer fools gladly means he was an asshole. He hated everyone. He was a colourful, fun-loving raconteur means he was a foul-mouthed drunkard who wouldn't shut up. So he carved out unique role at intersection of real and fake news. What does that mean, John? For what is that a euphemism? It means liar, doesn't it? It means you're a very good liar. A very accomplished liar. A very unique liar. He had a very interesting and original approach to the truth. He lived his life riding a tsunami of bullshit that no other bullshit surfer has caught before or since. And after 16 years, he hung up the mic. It's now 2 years later, and the brainchild he helped to raise is now 18.
Just like every other 18-year-old, you have a massive ego and spend 24 hours a day jerking yourself off.
How does this relate to Sambi? Well, I believe this would make her the 10th most trusted name in fake news. After Stewart, Colbert, John Oliver, Steve Carell, Lewis Black, Trevor Noah, Larry Wilmore, that other black guy, and that bland sort of nothingy kind of guy with the fishwife was Jason Jones. So this is just to give you some background, a little bit of context, a little bit of history. Look for fake news on Google Trends, and you'll see this. Obviously, it blew up after the 2016 election, but as you can see, it was not exactly dormant before that. There was sort of a wee spike around July 2013 there. Well, most of this was due to The Daily Show. A few years ago, people started asking themselves, since so much of the public gets more information from fake news like The Daily Show than they do from real news, should we be worried about that? Is fake news a cause for concern? And you know what the folks at The Daily Show said? They said, hell yeah, we're fake news. We're fake news and we're proud of it. And the fact that our fake news is more popular than the real news is just proof that the news media is a joke and a sham. And the news media said, yeah, it's right, we suck. Hooray for The Daily Show. Except, of course, for Fox, who mumbled to themselves and went, grr, we still think you're sinister. Cut to 2016. Trump wins the election. And this happens. There's this great flare-up in the graph in the war against fake news. That's when the news media starts going, that right-wing show over there, fake news. That right-wing station over there, fake news. That right-wing whatever it is over wherever it is, all fake news. Down with fake news. And meanwhile, what does The Daily Show have to say for itself? Well, all this is going on where everyone around them is blaming fake news for everything and calling for the destruction of fake news. What's The Daily Show going to say? Well, us? No, we're not fake news. We're The Daily Show. We're news satire. We never called ourselves fake news. All right, we did. But when we said it, we're fake news. We didn't mean we're fake news. We meant we're news satire. That's this other thing. News satire is where you do fake news, but you have a progressive bent, so it's okay. And everyone went, okay, Daily Show, you're still as awesome as ever, but Breitbart is fake news. InfoWars, fake news. And Trump pays Russians to piss on him. Oh, and Fox, that's fake news too. Why the fuck not?
We had an episode in which we had Fox News and we had the little news crawl.
Yes.
And that was one of our favorite moments.
Yeah, yes. It was wonderful.
Albert Einstein plus Brad Pitt equals Dick Cheney.
Yes.
That was one of the... Rupert Murdoch, terrific dancer.
Yes.
That was another one. We have been forbidden to do that again. Because the Fox viewer might confuse our cartoon with actual news.
And that was in 2007. What this tells us is that Fox, for all its faults, has at least been consistent on this principle. If a significant amount of your audience is likely to be stoned or just stupid, then make sure you draw the line firmly between obvious satire and potentially misleading fake news. You know, Fox treats its audience like idiots sometimes. This is hardly a revelation. But what's worse than treating your audience like idiots? That sounds like a difficult question, but the answer is as clear as day. What's worse than holding your audience to a standard too low? It's holding your audience to a standard too high. When you expect your audience to consist of no idiots at all whenever it suits you. I mean, why would an idiot listen to me after all? No, my audience is comprised of Socrates and Lao Tzu and Buddha, all carefully cataloguing my musings over a pot of tea. So I could do partisan opinion pieces instead of factual reports. I could do cynical hatchet jobs instead of interviews. I can basically propaganda instead of journalism, and it's okay, because no significant amount of my audience can actually be affected by it, have their beliefs about reality altered or affirmed. No, heavens to Albuquerque, no. Those people over there, who I disagree with, they're the ones who are too stupid to distinguish reality from fiction. But my beloved enlightened flock over here, I can lie to them all night, every night, and they'll fully understand that what I'm saying is just a joke, once it's been confirmed to be false. This, by the way, is a harsh truth that every YouTuber needs to come to terms with, as well as every mainstream media outlet. You ready? Morons love you. Plenty of them. More morons love you than you are comfortable with. I'm no exception. There are clever people in my audience, many people cleverer than I, but there are also morons. The larger your audience is, the more morons you have, and the greater proportion of morons you have. Morons enjoy large crowds. Morons enjoy anything that encourages confirmation bias. And this is the problem with Samantha Bee and all the other smug liberals. They think all the morons are in someone else's audience. They must be. I mean, if your politics are of a progressive bent like mine, then you're one of the enlightened ones. Even if you have an IQ of 64, if you can be convinced to support the left wing, you are automatically smarter than a chess grandmaster who supports the right wing. That's how it works, folks. It's not just that arbitrary tribal morality is more important than logic. Logic doesn't even exist if arbitrary tribal morality says so. Let's get back to it. Okay, I shouldn't have run before I can walk. I came straight into the deep end at part 1. We can take it even more slowly than that. We'll start with part 0. Yes, there is a part 0 to this. I don't know why.
Yes.
Alright, now, I want you to pay attention to the caricatures you're about to see. Welcome to comedy with a progressive bent, folks. Everyone deserves respect and dignity and human rights, except the following kinds of people.
Eerie teen in your father's suit, obviously from Breitbart.
Yeah.
Young white males.
Doesn't having a female host for this dinner demonstrate a clear anti-white male bias?
Absolutely not.
Poorly dressed white males.
Sam is not at all biased against white men. She just can't tell you apart and thinks you all know each other.
Right here, over here.
The joke there, in case you didn't get it, is we don't like white men because they're racist. No, the irony is not deliberate.
Yes.
Yeah, hi.
Poor and working class white males.
Ed Bauer, the bold-faced red fawn, email alert for America's uncles.
Family values. Public enemy number 1 in fake news satire. If there were ever a legitimate target for satire, it's family values, am I right? I mean, they've done nothing but drag us down.
Is tonight's special going to be like every episode of Full Frontal where Sam just talks about vaginas for a half hour?
No, Buttercup. Tonight she'll be talking about them for a full hour.
Right here.
The joke there, well, that wasn't one. That wasn't a joke. That was just, fuck you, I shouldn't have to come up with a joke. Vagina.
Hey, I'll take a Skype question, because I guess that's a thing now. Yes, Leonard Skinner, tribute band member.
And homeless white males.
Yes, speaking as a fringe nutjob survivalist who unaccountably drinks his own urine.
What's your question?
No question.
Again, no actual joke there. This is just, haha, everyone who disagrees with us is a disheveled wrong skin, worthy of nothing but contempt. This isn't comedy. This is some kind of psycho thriller. It's like that scene in American Psycho.
You know how bad you smell. You reek of shit.
You people are monsters.
I don't have anything in common with you.
Racist bloggers, anarchists, dominionist radio hosts, and rancid women haters.
Why don't you get a job? If you're so hungry, why don't you get a job?
You are the dregs of a free society.
You know what a fucking loser you are? What?
Except the scene from American Psycho is actually funny. Genuinely funny. Because American Psycho was about the imaginings of a fictional nut job who no one took seriously. Whereas Samantha Bee is real. People are actually listening to her vulgar display of contempt for the poor, the homeless, and the mentally ill, as though it's some kind of righteous indignation. Do you get the difference? It stops being funny when you mean it. You are stereotyping your opponents as poor and odorous, while your opponents are stereotyping you as overpaid and out of touch. This confirms that you are the aristocracy and your opponents are the unwashed masses. You have all but proved it in this opening sketch of yours, and you're not even enacting the labour of trying to hide it anymore. You're proud of it. Do you understand, Samantha, why people are beginning to see you as smug? Okay, I think I can handle part one now. I've eased myself in. Let's go. Let's see if we can get through like 3 minutes without gipping all over the... Okay. Okay, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Anyone who is here for the real correspondence dinner, deplane immediately.
Sam, deplane is not a verb in common usage by the 99%. They know what it means. It means get off a plane, but they just don't understand its symbolic relevance. It's outside their field of reference, you see.
We are so thrilled.
But it is, by the by, as we've established, you are unencumbered by such an old-fashioned and obsolete burden as compassion for the poor. You actually enjoy it when poor people don't understand what you're talking about. And that's called smug. Sam, to the very letter, that's what smug is.
To be here at beautiful Constitution Hall, owned by the Daughters of the American Revolution, also known as the Executive Vice Presidents of the American Revolution, the Assistants to the President of the American Revolution, and the Envoys to Germany of the American Revolution.
Not on board with quotas, then. Just wait till you see what Justin Trudeau did with his cabinet. Did you know the Canadian Prime Minister could just appoint a harem if he feels like it? Hey, mate, it says it's okay in the Quran. So soon it might be a crime to criticise it in Canada. And yeah, Trump is doing a similar thing, giving political credence, let alone important political posts, to unelected women. It happens all the time. It's essentially what the First Lady is. Everybody listen to this woman. She married the most successful man in the country. That's what I call an icon of womanhood. And women flock to her with this in mind, albeit perhaps subconsciously, because they love hypergamy. Hypergamy excites women in the same way StarCraft excites Koreans. Like the Olympics excites sport fans, It's like, holy shit, she's the wag of the POTUS. She's the international top seed in competition hypergamy. She has the free world in the palm of her hand, and all she had to do was put a ring on one of the fingers. Which is kind of fucked up. I agree, Sam. I think. I agree with something tightly scrambled up in the corner of what you said there. But I don't think you do. I don't think you agree with all the things you're saying, but you don't care, because you're smug.
We came here to Washington, D.C. to celebrate the free press. There are hundreds of journalists here, from the failing New York Times to the failing pile of garbage BuzzFeed.
Hey, New York Times from 50 years ago. Guess what? You're being name-dropped back-to-back with a publication called BuzzFeed. Would you like to know what BuzzFeed is? New York Times from 50 years ago? Well, just picture this summer's top 10 most fashionable thigh boots stamping on the top 25 celebrity faces you won't believe have aged this badly. Forever.
To the failing what the fuck is ProPublica, it sounds Mexican.
They do have more than one joke, folks, but their favourite joke by far, as you'll see by how often they revisit it, is, hey, everyone is racist except dark people and me. Am I right? And it goes down like a storm every time.
We've got 2,500 of our nearest and dearest fans.
At least 2,500 people all thinking, yes, everyone is racist except dark people and me. High five, everyone. High five, rich white people by whom I am surrounded. You're all racist and I'm not. It's funny because it's true. I'm glad you all get the joke too.
Probably, yes. Please. Probably the Russian ambassador is here. He turns up everywhere. We want you all to have a...
They didn't get that one, did they? They're not, are we allowed to laugh at Russians? Does that count as racist? Help.
great time. I know it looks like we have a cash bar tonight, but as I promised you in the invitation, at a later date, I will get Mexico to pay for all your drinks.
See? Do stick with the Mexican formula, Sam. It's a winner. Remember, it's not blah, 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 Russians, blah, blah, blah. It's blah, 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 Mexicans, blah. That's the golden one, the one that means I'm not racist.
And you are all gonna want to make friends with our honored guests here at the front tables. They are the Committee to Protect Journalists. Yes.
Fab. So what about the Committee for Telling the Truth to the Public? Where are they? Where should I sit if I'd like to have a quick chin wag with the Committee for Telling the Truth to the Public? You what? You didn't invite them? Because they're all misogynists, of course.
Right here. These are the guys you call if you leave the hall tonight and discover your car has been keyed by Sean Spicer.
So if anyone brands you as fake news, these cunts will help you sue them. Good luck. Inevitably eating each other.
Oh, buddy, why'd you sign it?
It's a small matter of authenticity, Sam. You wouldn't understand.
All proceeds from tonight's event benefit CPJ's work. If you're enjoying the dinner from home, first of all, I hope you're wearing black tie. Have some respect for me.
I genuinely don't get the joke here. I'm trying. It's a bit like the deplane thing. I mean, I'm opulent enough to have recently been on a plane, but not so far gone that I have any idea what you're talking about at this point. Again, if I'm not your audience, fair enough. But if you narrow your audience down, converging towards the 1%, and then you don't understand why anyone sees your smugness as a problem, both for the liberals you claim to represent and for everyone else, then you are naught but a lol cow, my dear. And one we can lol milk forever. Doesn't matter where the beef is, when your milk is so precious.
So all you cable news producers in the audience, you'll want to turn your chairs that way and just stare at that podium for the rest of the show.
Yes, because heaven forfend the news would ever be boring. The news isn't supposed to be boring, is it, Sam? It's supposed to be entertaining and trendy and cool and sensational and exaggerated.
Do not look away, no matter what else is happening or what a woman might be doing over here.
You're not more important than the president, Sam. I know you've got a vagina. That still doesn't count. I don't want to listen to a journalist or an entertainer who thinks their junk makes them more important than the president. Because whether you are speaking to inform or persuade or entertain, in any of these cases, Sam, it is crucial that you speak with a sense of perspective. Otherwise, you might as well be speaking as a very informative, very persuasive, very entertaining goldfish.
If I give an economic policy speech or detail my 100-day plan, just plug your ears and keep your eyes glued to that empty, waiting podium. Maybe talk to each other about what you think might happen there later. That'd be fun.
No matter how smug they are, they always find something to be bitter about. I'm rich, I'm influential, and I'm better than everyone. So why does everyone watch the president instead of watching me? It's not fair. Yeah, smug and bitter is a winning combination, Sam. That's the kind of stock from which every great comedian is bred. Smugness and bitterness. I'm the only non-racist in the world, and it's a travesty that I'm not queen. You know what? We don't have a smug liberal problem. I wouldn't call this a problem. Far from it. I'd call it a lol cow. A vast herd of lol cows. And none of them even know they're lol cows. So you can just go right up to them and milk them, and they'll think you're milking someone else. Because they have no feeling left in the cracked, septic flesh of their distended udders. So no, we don't have a problem with smug liberals. We have a field of lol with smug liberals. We have a problem with communists and Muslims.
And a super good use of your time. Pretend I'm not even here.
See, that's the difference. That works with you. That's very good advice when it comes to dealing with you. We can just change the channel or switch off the TV and we never have to listen to you again. But that doesn't work for the people out on the streets. Setting policemen on fire and decapitating soldiers. I can't just press a button and switch off the Antifa riot. So I could call the police, I suppose. Yeah, hello, police. Hello? So I'm not saying that the fake news of a progressive bent that the Daily Show has been hawking out for 18 years has a direct connection with the state-facilitated terrorism now being enacted to repress the First Amendment rights of anyone not of a progressive bent. I'm not even saying there's anything causal there. The TV's one thing, the streets are another. But I have to wonder where these people are getting their ideas and getting their encouragement and getting their validation, and of course not to mention their funding. But I hope it's not from smug liberals, because then we really would have a problem with smug liberals. Although, to be fair, I wouldn't call Sambi a smug liberal. I'd call her a smug toff. There's nothing liberal about her. She has contempt for the poor, she has contempt for the young, an unbridled contempt for white men. She's a racist, sexist, ageist, classist, smug, genetic supremacist. And yes, we do have a problem with those. The only problem we have with liberals is they're all dying off, or disappearing, or transforming like larval maggots into zombie hordes of smug terrorist botflies. It's like you never had wings. I can't take any more. I can't actually. I mean, how long did I make? About 2 minutes. I can stomach about 2 minutes of Sam B before I start doing whatever, convulsing and flailing and talking fever nonsense. I think I've failed the challenge. Like I said, I used to do this all the time, but I can't anymore. It's like drinking white cider. That really, really cheap, really gross stuff that's never seen an apple in its life. I used to get through 3-litre bottles of it at a time. Nowadays, I don't think I can even smell it without throwing up. It's like the opposite of riding a bike. Once you forget it, you have to relearn it all over again. If you're ever in such dire straits all over again. I mean, we're all a little bit out of touch with our past, with the days we spent wobbling on the balance beam of the poverty line. But you know what? I'd rather have the privilege of being able to forget what a particular hardship is like, rather than have the disadvantage of never knowing what hardship's like in the first place. Because the one makes you grumpy and the other makes you smug, and I'd much rather be grumpy than smug. I've never wanted to punch a grumpy person in the face. Have you? But smug faces, I'm pretty sure of what punching is for. Still shouldn't punch smug people, though. Just in case. You might get it wrong. Some people just have resting smug face. Leave the resting asshole faces alone. They're just grumpy. That's my people. Alright, this is one of the most pointless videos ever. Oh, fuck off, everyone. I'm... drink.